Greetings, Internet, and welcome back to another episode of Putting Shells on Shelves. That's right, we're back at it with the turtle game again, and for today's episode, we are going to be taking a look at the 1990 Mega Mutants. That's right, the maximum-sized figures that they made to be kind of an ally and a vehicle for whichever faction you chose. Case in point, we have on the Turtles side, Needlenose, the mutant army mosquito, currently being piloted by Donatello up here. Now, the reason why I decided to go with Donatello to pilot him is because I decided to go with the box art from when these things were originally released. Now, the thing I find interesting, and something I've been wanting to talk about a little bit when it comes to these, I don't know how many of you have actual packaging and boxes of these Ninja Turtles, but if you go to this fancy little website that I'm going to put a link to in the description down below, a site called the Ninja Turtles Virtual Museum, if you take a look at the packaging, you'll start to realize that Raphael, of all the Turtles, is on basically every single last vehicle. Well, he's on most of the packaging for the vehicles and the play sets and stuff. Like, if it's just a vehicle with a single figure that they have displayed with it, he's their go-to turtle. I don't know why, but, just the majority of them have that going on. And because of that, since I had the option to go with Donatello because he was in the box art, but Raphael was on the figure in the actual photograph of the the item in the box, I just decided I would just throw Donatello in there because, come on, the bowstaff wielding wonder doesn't get enough love, in my opinion. But then again, I could be wrong. He could be a whole bunch of people's favorite turtle, but I see a lot of people posting online who really likes Donatello anyway? Personally, I like him. He's not my favorite turtle. That goes to Slash, of all characters. Michelangelo is close second, but Donatello is definitely third runner-up. Actually, no, is Donatello third, or is that Raphael? No, Raphael is third, Donatello is fourth, Leonardo is fifth. In terms of, Slash, Leonardo, Michelangelo, Donatello, and Raphael. Anyway, I am getting so off topic right now. We're here to talk about the Mega Mutants, not about my personal preferences of which turtles and who yada yada blah blah blah. Although I might do a Putting Shells on Shelves where I just kind of pick my favorite turtles and do a top 10 list. If I do that, actually, people in the audience out there, you that I'm pointing at specifically, I want you to put in the comment section down below, should I or should I not do a top 10 tier list of my personal favorite Ninja Turtles? And we're talking about top 10 of all the figures from 1988 all the way up until the end of the initial run in 1997. If you would like to see me talk about Turtles in that way, put a yes. If you're like, nah, don't do it, then put a no. Regardless, so anyway, back to the actual figures themselves. Personally, I think these two are really neat, and I got myself distracted way earlier. And by way earlier, I mean 4 minutes ago. Because I was starting to touch on the figure for the good guys, Needlenose, who for some reason my brain was like, I know we said that, but what did we say? But anyway, Needlenose, the army mosquito. And then we have, for the bad guys, again, depending on the way you would play with these as a kid, either of these guys could be interchangeable. You could be like, ew, mosquitoes, I hate mosquitoes, he's a villain, he's a bad guy. This bee, I love bees, he's the good guy, he's a reformed prisoner, and he's working for the Turtles now. But anyway, and for the bad guys, we have Killer Bee, who appears to be a parolee, almost, or just he busted out of prison, and he is being piloted by a foot soldier, because in the packaging, the art and the packaging, as well as the photographs on the packaging, they have him piloting this guy. Don't mind me, there's just a couple little fuzzies that got stuck on him while he's been sitting on the shelf waiting for this day. So, as I was starting to say before I jumped back to this topic, these guys are just some of the best sculpting in the entire line, bar none. I mean, just look at the detail. Those crazy eyes, the antenna, or not antenna, the little mustache-looking thing he's got, the mandibles near his nose there, the antenna that are actually posable on his forehead here. And looks like one of them got kind of turned sideways. There we go. And he's got all 6 of these legs that are all posable. You can move them any which way. They're all on ball and socket joints. That's one thing that's kind of a downside with him, is he can hold his little shotgun here very well. His hand is molded perfectly for that. Although you could easily put that in his other hand because it's basically got more of a grip, like a trigger grip kind of thing going on. And he just has a hard time holding this chainsaw. I just don't know why it is. It's like his fingers are just a touch too far apart, so you kind of got to squish the chainsaw up into his hand like that. But there you go. But anyway, talking about the detailing stuff again, like I was starting to gush about, he's got like this green drool, this oozy, nasty gunk just dripping out of his mouth. He's got those teeth. That is one ticked off bee. And of course, you've got all these different vibrant colors to play off of. He's got this bright yellow body with these purple stripes. A color scheme that's carried over into his little, jail cap? Jail hat. On his little jail hat up there. Excuse me. And of course, he's got just these translucent wings, and you can see like every single detail of the veins and the blood coursing through them. As well as, for some reason, his coloring on his wings also has little skulls and crossbones. Don't know how well you can see them, but right up there underneath the seat right here, skull and crossbones going on. And also, apparently, this guy has been through quite an ordeal. Check out all the, bullet holes and wounds and stuff in his thorax. And I just realized that kind of looks like a weird sad face. It's like got eye here, eye there, nose, and then frown of bullets. Also, that translucent tail. It's like apparently this guy stung someone, but he's such a bad bee that he was able to survive that and make himself a new tail out of whatever that translucent material is supposed to be. That is just one bad bee. And I just realized he's got even more detailing on his, on the front that's just never been painted in. Hopefully y'all can see all that. I just realized there's this big gash right over here. That is just one cool looking bug. And of course he comes with an electric chair apparatus on his back. I forget exactly what it's called, but he's got that going on. And yeah. Sorry, it's been kind of a long day. I'm trying. Also, he comes with these cool accessories, like I was starting to point out before. He's got this purple shotgun with the end all blown to smithereens. He's got that chainsaw. He's got a pair of handcuffs that are detachable, that just kind of hang off of him like that. He's got a ball and chain. Now, this is supposed to have like a little 8-ball logo on it. Actually look like an 8-ball, but the sticker fell off long before I got this thing, so... And of course, he's got the articulated wings, just like with his legs and his head. I don't think his stinger is not articulated. You'll notice me going like this a fair bit while I'm dealing with these guys, just because, unfortunately, since these toys are getting on in years, as I've mentioned in several videos before, the plastic is just kind of seeping a bit. The kind of chemicals they used as release agents to be able to take all these parts back out of the molds is starting to come back out of plastic. And I just realized something. This is the very first time I've ever noticed this. But this dork has bags of money just like tied around his back legs here. See these weird lumps down here? Huh. But yeah, all these cool little details like that are supposed to be on there. Oh, and another thing that I didn't even realize was missing until I looked at the picture of these on the Ninja Turtle Wikipedia, not Wikipedia, the Ninja Turtle site that I use. He's supposed to have a blue with white lettering sticker that would go right across back here, right here below my finger. See that ridge right here? That would have said Buzz something. I'm assuming it would be Buzz Off. But regardless, he is still a very cool figure, even with the missing stickers and such like that. So there you go. And now moving on to Needlenose, the army mosquito. This guy has much of the same going on as his friend over there, or his enemy, his frenemy, whatever you want to call him. He only came with a few accessories though, instead of the 1, 2, 3, 4 accessories that came with him. This guy only came with 3, and unfortunately I'm missing 2 of them. He came with this cool gun that he's holding over here. And then, if you notice how he's got these little holes right up here in his front legs, he would have had a pair of little missiles that would just like clip on. They could go like enemy-seeking missiles and such. He's also got a bunch of little detachable things, like he's got this big engine built onto his back end. He's got his articulated wings. Oh, that's another thing I should bring up. That this guy has the same... Let me double check myself here. Head, arms, legs... Okay, he's got the same basic 6 or 7 points of articulation as Killer Bee over there. His head moves. His legs move. His arms move. I don't want to move him around too much, because if you heard that click, I'm very worried that one of these times I'm going to hear that click and the limb is just going to come off in my hand. Unfortunately, these toys just... They're awesome, but because Playmates Toys was trying to get out as many of these as possible, you know, get the biggest return on their investment, a lot of these are kind of cheaply made, which is the reason why you find a lot of the Turtles figures with like their legs snapped off, because just the plastic didn't hold up and it just broke. Anyway, after that little somber note there, let's jump back into it. He's got the articulation here, here, and here. The tail is non-articulated, but unlike with Killer Bee there, who's got that stinger that doesn't move or do anything, he's got this little gun or gripper thing that actually rotates 360 degrees. That's cool. And he's got the wings that are articulated, as so. It comes with this little gunner chair, which, you know, all things considered, you would think that Killer Bee would have the gunner chair and, you know, they would have something else, or they would both have a gunner chair, but he's just got an electric chair thingamabob over here. These guys came prepared, and they are ready to blast him and whoever's riding him clean out of the sky. You'll never take me alive, coppers! Yeah, we're not the coppers, we're the Ninja Turtles, buddy! And yeah, that's me being silly with action figures. Now, this guy doesn't have nearly as much painted detail on him, because I'll be the first one to admit it. Probably not the first one. I'm sure there's people elsewhere on the internet who've said this before. But he has a lot of painted details that are just not painted. But the ones that are painted are just the right touches of paint. Like he's got all these veins coming down off the back of him. Of course, he's got that gnarly face going on. He's got the one eye that's like half squinted and then the other eye that's like, ha. Which is part of the reason why I keep putting his gun in this hand, because it's like he's, you know, trying to aim it while he's flying. He's like, haha, I got you now, Killer Bee. And of course, he's got his gloves are painted right there on both of his hands. He's got that one bandage there and there, painted. The little detailing on his wings, which are very cool little things. He's also got a couple sticker decals, which I guess kind of makes up for the fact that he doesn't have a whole lot of paint detailing, but at the same time, come on, Playmates. Come on now, if you had the money to fork up to get your own custom printed stickers for these things, you could have put a little more paint on there. It's just a gripe, but it's a reasonable one. But anyway, as I was starting to say, he's got like kind of that same green ooze drool going on that Killer Bee had. And that's really it. Oh, and of course his balding faux hawk that he's got going up top. His little crew cut, that's the word I'm looking for, his little crew cut he's got going on. And he's also got a little bit of detailing on his underside. He's got a couple of bullet holes right there in his torso. But because they're unpainted, they're a bit harder to tell. And of course, he's got a couple of metal plates on him, I think, yeah. Like right there on his leg. This one, right back. Is that the one I'm pointing at? No, it's right back here on this leg. He's got like a metal plate in there. Just all kinds of cool, gross detailing that would have looked so much better if it was actually painted. But alas, not to cut corners, to save money, Playmates Toys just didn't paint those up. So, yeah, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. This has been me rambling on about Mega Mutants, Needle Nose, and Killer Bee. If you like what you've seen here today, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that little bell icon to be notified of future uploads. Once you are subscribed, you'll be glad you did. Share my videos with your friends. If you think they'll like them, heck, if you're not sure, share them anyway. You could be surprised. And with all of that out of the way, this is your old buddy Oxleymations saying, I appreciate each and every one of you who watch my videos, especially you right there watching this video to this point. And I give a big old cowabunga to you, and I'll see all y'all in the next episode. Later.